Hi guys, I'm here with a real Ghostbusters PCB. Bought it pretty cheap. Game works fine with the exception of no sound. So, over here you can see you get the sound amp. That's usually what's attached to the heatsink. I've tried off one of my little tricks I try. It doesn't always work, but you can feel underneath where the pins are for the sound amp. When you have the game plugged in and turned on, if you rub your fingers under the sound amp, usually through the speakers, even if there's no sound, you'll hear like a humming sound. That's usually a good indication that the amp is working properly, even though you have no sound for whatever reason. So I plugged this one, I tried my little trick with the finger, I rubbed it across the pins, and I was getting nothing at all. Usually that's a good indication that the amp itself, which is right here, it's attached to the heatsink, is no good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to remove this amp, take the heatsink off, put the new amp in, try to boot it up and see what happens. And you can test it with a logic probe as well to see if it's working. I'm trying to learn how to do the logic probe thing, but again, my little trick, I rub the finger across the amps. Usually you can try it with most boards. If you find a sound amp, rub your finger across the bottom of it and you should be able to hear something through the speaker. Even if it's working, you'll hear like a humming sound from just your finger rubbing on there. Alright, but I'm getting nothing out of this one, so we'll give it a shot. Change out the sound amp. It was like $5 on eBay. Shouldn't take that long to replace it, and see if that brings the sound back. So just to show you, I took the amp off. I didn't need to take the heatsink off. You can see the amp there is removed. Here's actually the new amps going in there. This is pretty easy to come out. I was able to save the old one in case that's not the issue. And then I just have a spare amp. It's always good to have spare parts. But you see right there. Flip it over. Still a little solder on there. So able to remove it fairly cleanly. Like I said about the finger issues, when you have the pins sticking through and the board's booting up, if you rub your fingers on the pins back and forth, you'll hear a humming sound on the speakers when you have the sound amp there. So, alright, I'm going to put the new one in there and see what happens. So I got the new amp in. You see it right there. Soldered in pretty easy. No problems at all. Got it on my test rig right here. Don't mind the mess on my desk. Looks like it's working good. It turns out the amp was bad. That was the only thing wrong with it. Like I said, I tried to test with my finger, rubbed it against the pins on the bottom side, the solder side, and I was getting nothing at all. Like usually you could hear like a humming through the amp, through the speakers. So I replaced that. Like I said, it cost me like $5 or $6 on eBay. This is a 2-player version. There is a 3-player version as well. But so if you have any questions, shoot me a message. Thanks for watching.